Welcome to another episode of Project Grown Up. This is a bi-weekly podcast about conquering the phenomenon known as adulthood through hard work, discussion, and most importantly, a lot of laughs. We hope you will be a part of this project with us. I'm Danielle, here with my co-host Amy.
Hey girl, hey.
And Alex.
Hello.
So this week we are bringing you another one of our PG inspiring stories, talking with Samantha Rivera. Samantha is a Chicago native and a big fan of the Bears and all things sports. She graduated from DePaul University in Chicago and was actually one of my classmates as well. She has a bachelor's degree in journalism, public relations, and advertising. After graduating, Samantha got her first reporting job in Marquette, Michigan at WLUC-TV, where she was a reporter for the morning show. I can't imagine what that was like, getting up that early every morning. Samantha quickly moved up the ladder and went to Rockford, Illinois, where she worked as a sports anchor and reporter for WTVO WQRF. She was there for 2 years, covering everything from all things sports related to Chicago's professional teams, including the Chicago Bears, for her station's Bears Blitz show. After making her mark there, she moved on to San Diego, where she's now a bilingual sports reporter and multimedia journalist for Fox 5, which she recently started, by the way. So Samantha Rivera, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you make me sound cooler than I think I actually am. But yeah, it's crazy to see or listen rather to, how my journey's kind of gotten me here. But yeah, thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. So you've obviously got a lot under your belt since the last time I saw you. It's been a few years. What made you want to become a sports reporter in the first place?
Yeah, so I originally went to DePaul just wanting to focus on print. I was super shy growing up. The fact that I'm even on TV right now is mind-blowing still. But I wanted to just write for the newspaper, and I had played volleyball in middle school and high school, and I got in a car accident, hurt my shoulder, couldn't play anymore. So when I got to DePaul, I had an opportunity to write about the women's volleyball team. So that was kind of my way of staying in the game. And then I wrote a little bit about news too. And then from there, I took a video editing class, fell in love with that, did a radio show with DePaul and Univision Chicago. And we did, news, entertainment, sports, everything. And then I took some TV classes and realized that it was pretty fun. So when I started, applying to jobs after graduation, deep down, I still wanted to just get a job in, at some newspaper because I wasn't sure if TV was for me. I had only done it for like the last couple of years or so, and I still wasn't sure if it was the right fit. So I always knew that I wanted to do sports, but I also knew that sports jobs in local news stations aren't, there aren't a lot of them available. So I knew that I wanted to get my foot in the door somehow. So I took a morning live shot reporter position out in Marquette, like you said. Yeah, those morning hours are pretty rough, but I did that for about 6 months, I think. And then they moved me up as the Fox UP anchor. So I got switched to the night side, which was nice. And I knew that I wanted to get some anchoring experience just because I knew, if you want to be a weekend sports person, you have to anchor. And so I did that. Yeah, it was great experience. I was there for about a year. And then I like you said, I went to Rockford and I loved it there. I got to cover the Bears, which was, insane.
I was so jealous. Every time I saw you downtown, I was like, you're so lucky.
Yeah, dude, I still don't believe it. Like, I look at photos and I'm like, I was actually there. It was crazy. And now I'm in San Diego. It's a totally different experience. I tell people all the time that even when I'm stressed, I'm happy. I think the weather really does affect, your mood. And it's just been a great experience. One of those things where you're in the right place at the right time. The first day, where my dad and my sister, they were the last ones to leave me here. So my mom was here. She had left like a couple days before, but after they left that whole day, I felt really lonely. And then after that, I was completely fine. I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I missed being alone, but it's definitely a place where I know I'm in the right spot at the right time.
So I want to ask, I know a bit from Danielle's history and applying for reporting jobs and such. Do you specifically apply to a sports reporting job, or how does that work?
Yeah. So in terms of just like applying or using an agent or something like that?
Well, how's the whole process work? Because I know like Danielle had to send her reels out to all these different networks around the country. So I don't know, do you apply for like the same jobs and then they just kind of take you and place you where they think you best fit? And since you had sports history, like how does that, how did you jump from one place in sports to next place in sports?
So it's still kind of the same thing. You send out your reels to whatever news director find, because it is, it really is a small biz or industry where everybody kind of knows each other. So for this last job, my current job, I messaged our weekend sports anchor, Julian, and I messaged him on Instagram, had never really talked to him, but I asked him, hey, are you guys still hiring for your sports reporter MMJ position? He was like, yeah. So he gave me his news director's email address. I sent him my stuff. And that same day, I had a Zoom interview with him. And it was like a week's worth of, interview after interview after interview. And yeah, you just kind of have to, be your, what's the right word I'm looking for? Be an advocate for yourself, I guess, if that makes sense. You have to show your news director, your sports director, what it is that you're capable of. You kind of have to prove to them like, hey, I can do this job. Look at the work that I've done in the past. Unless you have an agent, they can always help you out with that. But even then, I think when you're able to create that personal relationship with the person that, could potentially hire you, I think that looks a lot better. So yeah, a lot of sending out emails. I think it was more so, definitely when we graduated college, that was like, oh my God, that was very time consuming and very stressful. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, it gets easier. Obviously, when you move from job to job, more people start to know you. They watch your work. So it gets a little easier, I think.
Well, after sending out your reels and then getting the interview the same day, I think it's obvious that you have the chops for this. So I have to ask, who are your favorite teams? Like NCAA football, NFL, MLB, NBA? List your favorite teams real quick.
All right. So yeah, like Danielle said, I am a Chicago girl. So Bears are like my ultimate team. I love them. And then White Sox, Bulls, and then DePaul, I guess we'll take them. Or, basketball when they're good. Women, the women's team, they're always great. The men's, they need some work. But for college football, USC actually. So University of Southern California, because that was originally my dream school. So I couldn't afford it, but I just kind of stuck with it. I was like, yeah, so they're going to be the team that I, cheer on. I didn't go there, but whatever. The fans kind of just took me in as one of their own, so I accepted. But yeah, who else am I missing? I think I said them all.
Yeah, I think you got everyone. That was good. It was getting quick.
Yes.
I know it's kind of random, but I saw you're covering golf now. So is there like a specific player who's your favorite?
Yeah, I don't think I have a favorite golf player. I think, I started getting more into it once I was covering golf in Rockford because golf is really big there.
What's been the most exciting sports moment you've covered? Because I know like being in school, it was cool. It was really cool to see the Cubs win the World Series. I know you're a Sox fan, so some of us here really enjoyed that moment. But what really has been the most exciting moment as a sports reporter for you to be there live?
Definitely the Bears and Packers game where they had the 100th anniversary of the NFL. That was the first game of the season. Like I told you, I could not believe that I was there. I took like a bunch of pictures and videos just like as proof to remind me like, yeah, this was real, but it was just one of those moments where you're like, wow, I'm really doing this. You don't have a lot of time, obviously, to kind of soak it in because you're, looking over your scripts and making sure that, everything's good with the camera and things like that. But it was just amazing. And then because, I would cover the Bears regularly, I had become friends with a lot of the Chicago reporters. And so to see them there too was still, surreal because you realize like, wow, I'm doing the same thing that these guys are doing, and when I was younger, I would have never imagined that I would be in that position.
So did you get to be on the field, like on the sidelines for the whole game? Oh,
no.
Okay.
So I would do like my live shots before the game and then after the game. So I would be on the field then, but no, during the game, I would have to be up in the press box, which was still, just as cool. And then they would have like amazing food. It was the best.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a big difference between news and sports. They don't feed us.
Yeah.
They like sports more.
Oh my God. No, that's probably, one of the biggest perks I would say of working in sports. Yeah, I would never go hungry. So
What are some other big differences between news reporting and sports reporting, other than the food? Because that's obviously a huge perk.
yeah. I would say you don't have to be as serious in sports. Like I said, I started out as a morning live shot reporter, and I think that was a great position to be in just to start, because I was able to get more comfortable in front of the camera, kind of show off my personality a little bit more. And they were mostly like fun segments and nothing too serious. And I think, I can do serious news, but it's not what I like. It doesn't make me happy. I would say that's probably the biggest difference for me, is that sports makes me happy. News doesn't always make me happy. I feel like you're kind of always, like I said, serious, and you have to, I don't know, just have like a more serious voice almost. Yeah, in sports, it's just a lot more fun when, you get to create these personal relationships with the athletes, with the coaches, with the athletes' parents, things like that. But yeah, everything else is pretty much the same, in terms of reporting and making sure that you get all the facts straight, and, you get phone numbers of people that you could talk to in the future and for future stories and things like that.
That's amazing to be able to do what you love every day and be surrounded by such an amazing atmosphere. That just sounds like such a great job. So congrats on living your dreams.
In
Thank
sunny
you.
San Diego too.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't get-
Oh, yeah.
What about that movie, Anchorman? Can we talk about that real quick? Is that like your life right now in San Diego?
Oh my God. I have not watched that movie in years, but yeah.
It's due. It's
I've
due
heard
now that you moved there.
I know. I've heard so many lines from that movie already since I moved here, but yeah, I'm pretty much Ron Burgundy.
Or Samantha, you got to figure out how to incorporate that into a live shot one day and just be like,
Right.
stay classy, San Diego.
Absolutely. I think I'll be able to manage that one day.
So during your time at DePaul, you helped create some of the questions for an Obama interview. What was that like? Like at that moment, did you feel like you'd accomplished your reporting goals?
Oh my gosh, that was definitely something that was just really cool. Obviously I didn't get to see him, but to see, my professor, Carol Marine, be on TV and talking to Obama was just like, I had a little part in that, it was really cool. But I do remember going through those questions and just like my brain was fried by the end of class, because they were so specific, like on every single word. With every question, they were like, oh no, you got to change this. You can't say it like that. You got to, it was just, and that was a great learning experience for me, just because, I'm a perfectionist. So to see kind of them be the same way and taking their time and being detailed with something as simple as a question was really cool to see. But yeah, it was a lot of work just making sure that we got everything perfectly and the way that they liked it.
Amy, that was one of several classes I had with Sam.
Yes.
Danielle, I do remember you telling us about it. We were actually at a hotel in Miami and you were talking about it.
Was
So
that
I do remember.
I think I was, I think I had asked them, like, what's a fun question to ask Obama? And then one of them was like, ask him what, no, wait, sorry. That was my roommate who said that back at DePaul. She was like, ask him what kind of pajamas he wears. So I'm like, I'm not doing that.
That is a good question, though.
I don't wear pajamas.
So,
yeah, no, that was a good class.
Right. So anyways, I've seen a lot of your tweets and some of the comments you made on social media, just when people make a comment towards you, whether it's about being a female on TV or being a Latina and the way you pronounce things. Do you think we're headed in the right direction as a country? Do you think there's something viewers can learn before they send certain comments your way? Because I feel like I've seen you get quite a few.
Yeah. I don't know if I know the answer to that. I want to believe that, we're getting better with that, but I don't know. I think it's obviously, disheartening when you do read those comments. And I think, before viewers obviously send those comments, they should probably, do their research a little bit, try to put themselves in our shoes and, do the research before you, start spewing hate or whatever. But I think we're getting, more people, I think, in the public eye speaking out about it, saying that, these things aren't right, where, you shouldn't make fun of or not like a way that somebody says something just because they're different from you. Just because somebody can do something that you can't doesn't mean you have the right to say something mean to them or just try to make them feel bad. The people that say these things obviously have nothing better to do with their life, and I think that's really important to remember when you are reading comments like that, is like, clearly there's something wrong with them, something, maybe they had a bad day or something, I don't know, but that doesn't reflect me and in any way. And I will never, ever be ashamed of my ability to speak Spanish and pronounce names the right way. I remember my second year in Rockford was when I finally, had the guts to change the way that I said my last name on air. I had been so nervous about, saying it like the way it's supposed to be pronounced, Rivera, because I was so afraid of how the viewers would react. And once I was, once I had the courage to do it, it felt fine. I didn't get a lot of bad comments about that, which was, a great feeling, obviously, to just be able to do it and feel comfortable around it. But it sucks that you have to think about something like that for so long that, you're scared about it, that, somebody's going to say something to like my news director, my sports director, I might lose my job, stupid things like that. Yeah, I think to answer your question, I hope we are headed in the right direction. I still think that the country needs some work, obviously. We haven't had the best, what word am I looking for? The best, I don't know. I think our country's true colors have shown recently. And, it's just, I don't know, it's something that's showed us that, we still have a lot of work to do and a long way ahead.
So are you feeling a little bit more comfortable as a Latina in San Diego? I imagine there's, more of a culture being so close to Mexico.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming here was really nice because, small things like going to Walmart and, having somebody talk to you in Spanish without even knowing if you speak Spanish was nice. It's cool. You don't get that everywhere. And it just makes me feel kind of at home. I feel more comfortable doing that. And yeah, I've said Spanish names already on air here. No bad comments, nothing like that. So that's a good sign. But it's really cool. I have heard a lot about the Mexican food here, good and bad, but I'm excited to try it all. So yeah, I think I do feel more comfortable here just because, like you said, there is a bigger Latino community here. We're closer to Mexico. And yeah, so I think it's a great place for me to be at right now.
I would imagine you pick up an audience too that maybe like someone like I can't, because I can't relate to them as much,
Yeah.
So I'm sure when they see you on TV, they're like, oh, she's like me, and get really proud of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's definitely one of the things that I hope to be able to do. If there's a young Latina that is maybe interested in sports, that they see me and they're able to think, oh, I can do that. Because growing up for me, I never saw somebody that looked like me, that sounded like me doing sports. So that never even came up in my head as an option, to have as a career. So I hope that by being on air, speaking Spanish, speaking English, doing sports, somebody else realizes that they can do that same job too.
I think there are definitely going to be some little girls out there that are inspired by you. So you're doing well. So what's your end goal after all of this? Do you want to be back in Chicago covering your home teams, or is it like ESPN or Fox? What are you shooting for?
Yeah, so my end goal is definitely to be back home in Chicago one way or another. I definitely want to be there for when I'm ready to raise a family. A family is very important to me. I want my, family to be surrounded by my other family, like my immediate family, extended family, everybody, just because that's what I had growing up. And I don't want my career to change that for, my family. But I do actually want to work for ESPN. So the end goal would be to make 30 for 30s. I don't know if that's a thing, if they could make me, or if they would allow me to work remotely from Chicago. Something's gotta work out, hopefully. But yeah, 30 for 30s is really what I want to do, is just like longer form stories. I think, taking the time to really tell a story and having more time with that, is something that I love, the editing process and just kind of going through scripts and things like that and just taking your time with it. I love that. So yeah, those are my end goals, and hopefully I'll get there one day.
You definitely can. I would have never guessed watching you on TV that you were shy. I was also shy too, but like I definitely get the comments every once in a while, like, "Are you awake?" That sort of a thing. You definitely have potential to be on ESPN.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
not just saying that
thank you.
because I know you. Like, you do very good.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. No, yeah, growing up, it was bad. Like, I could not give a speech in high school without like hyperventilating. I was like, I can't do this. I want to get out of here. So yeah, it's so weird to me still that, I'm on TV, but I'm able to have fun, and it's interesting too, because when I was in high school, I started doing I was like a team ambassador type thing. So I was part of a street team. So one of my neighbors worked with like a marketing group, and she would always need like people to work on her teams. So I started doing that because they paid like really well. You give out like free stuff on the street, whatever, in Chicago. So I would do that a lot, and it kind of forced me to talk to people. So that was a really big thing that kind of helped me get out of my shell and not be as shy. And then obviously in college with the radio show with, oh my God, when Rick Brown had us do those live shots in class.
Those were awful.
But yeah. And it was so weird too, because I hated doing live shots just as practice. And then that was my first job. I had to go live every single day, but it was so good to get those reps in. Like I said, it just helped me feel so much more comfortable in front of the camera.
You mentioned like the long form that you want to do, like the 30 for 30s. I'm seeing a sports podcast in your future, is what I'm seeing. Because that's, you can start that on your own, and you already have a following. You have a great voice. I'm just saying. But if you were to start a podcast, would it be centered around sports, and who would be your like main goal for an interview?
Oh my gosh. I think it would be centered around sports, but I think, I don't know. It would definitely have to do something with, I don't know, food. I love food. So maybe something with that, or just kind of talk, maybe like a little bit about like what you guys are doing, just kind of like, how you grew up and things like that. I love hearing people's, stories about, how they grew up and how they got to where they are and things like that. So definitely sports, getting some food talk in there. I think that'd be fun. As far as who I would like to interview, I'm going to say Bo Jackson. Just because he's like, so my favorite athlete of all time is Walter Payton, and then Bo Jackson is second. So Walter obviously is not with us right now, but Bo Jackson would definitely be who I would love to interview.
I want to ask you one quick last question. What advice would you give other women or girls working in a primarily male-dominated industry?
I would say, I know it's easy to doubt yourself, because even me in my position, I feel like I have those moments still where I'm just like, can I really do this? Sometimes I have what you call imposter syndrome, where you don't feel like you're good enough sometimes for what you're doing, but you're totally qualified. And I'm totally qualified for what I'm doing. I know that I do a good job. Sometimes I need that reminder of, hey, you're fine. You're not as terrible as you might feel or think or anything like that. I think, yeah, it's easy to kind of feel that doubt, but make sure that you have the right group of people around you, surrounding you, that support you and cheer you on, because that's what you're going to need in those hard times. And that's when you kind of work up the courage to, stand up to those males maybe that aren't kind to you still in this sports industry. And yeah, I think, I don't know if that made any sense, but I think having a really good support group that can help you in those hard times, so that you're able to have that confidence throughout, the rest of your careers, is really helpful.
Okay, so if there's anything we've learned from this, it's definitely that you know how to give some good advice. So, that Carol and Don, Rick, all of them, they've passed some good traits on to you. Hopefully someone who's interested in being a sports journo takes your advice. Even if they're not, though, I hope they do too, because even if they're not going down the same path, it's true. People shouldn't be afraid of being themselves or speaking up, and definitely should fight for their dream job. All right, before we wrap up, we got to slay that Q&A where we ask our guests some fun rapid fire questions to end on a light note. So, first one, MJ or LeBron?
Ooh, MJ.
All right, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? This will air after the Super Bowl, so no pressure.
Chiefs. I think Mahomes can do it.
Let's hope it's the Chiefs. They just defeated the Bills, and that was
Come on,
tough.
guys. We're in Tampa.
That was not pretty.
We're in Tampa. They're playing in Tampa. We got to root for Tampa.
Amy and Alex are both in Tampa.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe Tom Brady can pull it together. I don't know. But it's been kind of annoying how good he has been.
Yeah, I understand that. It's time for him to lose sometimes. I get it. Same thing with Alabama. I thought we were going to take them this year. I'm a Buckeyes fan too, so I really thought that Alabama was going to lose for once, but no such luck.
I know.
Okay, who would be your dream interview?
Ooh, I'm going to go with the same answer. So Bo Jackson, definitely. I'd love to just pick his brain and get to know more about him as a person.
And then one non-sports related interview.
Chris Martin from Coldplay. I'm a huge Coldplay.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever been to a Coldplay concert?
Yes. Yeah. So I've only gone to one. I cried. I loved it so much.
Oh.
But I went with my youngest sister, and it was just incredible. I hope to see them again at some point. But yeah, all-time favorite. Love them.
So jealous. Okay. So I know I've had a lot of these. Some I'm willing to share, some I'm not. Well, what has been your most embarrassing reporting moment?
I think from what I can remember, there was one time where I had a really bad laughing attack. I don't know where it came from, but it was something like Restaurant Week in Marquette, and we were at what was it called? I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but I was talking to like two ladies there, super sweet. And we were just talking about food, I think. And I don't know if I like misheard a word or something, but like I started chuckling a little bit and I couldn't hold it together. And I remember I had to like throw it back to the studio because I was like, I can't stop laughing. And I don't know why. But thankfully, they didn't like get mad at me or anything like that. But I just remember, finishing the live shot and just being mortified. I was like, what just happened? Like, why could I not pull it together? So it was pretty bad, but it was funny. I look back on it, I was like, wow, that's embarrassing.
It's
like another world when that light comes on.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. One time this is the only embarrassing moment I'll say, but one time I was doing a political story in Fargo. Instead of saying DFL, I said NFL on live TV. So if I didn't give it away that I had no idea what I was talking about, that definitely did.
Oh God. That's so funny.
As always, we want to leave you with some words to live by. This week, we'll have the words come from Miss Samantha Rivera herself.
Be your own advocate.
Join us for new episodes every other week. They'll be coming out Monday, so you can start the week off right as we unravel another chapter of Project Grown Up. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and, of course, leave us a 5-star review, please. If you or anyone you know would be great for our PG inspiring stories, send us an email at projgrownup@gmail.com.
Hopefully you found some keys to success in this episode. Cheers to another week of trying to be a grown-up. Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.